If you are joining us live and you are on our Facebook stream live, for those of you who are on our Zoom, you will just need a mat. In terms of what else I've just got like a stretchy band. You can use a power band, or if you haven't got one of those, you can just use a towel. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with you using whatever you feel works for you. It's aimed at being just a little bit of a stretch and a little bit of a move. For those of you who aren't from Perth, Perth has been in lockdown, which is our first lockdown in about 10 months. So we're only day 3, so we're doing super well compared to the rest of the world. But I'm getting a bit stiff and I'm getting a bit sore, and I know from a physio point of view, all the physio clients have been allowed to come in, which is the first time ever. So that has been a little bit of a shock for all of us that we can't actually have our physio clients in. So hopefully this will just encourage you to move and stretch and have a little bit of a move around today. And like I said, I'll give you a couple of minutes. If you haven't got your mat and it's not comfortable, or you need to adjust where you are, then feel free. Go and grab whatever you need to. And I shall see what's going on. There will be a couple of minutes, so like I said, I've just come on a little bit early just so I can make sure that I've actually done the right thing and got everything in place as we stand. And then I'm actually on my phone here at the moment, so I can see if I'm actually streaming correctly to Facebook. And hopefully we are. Not 100% sure. However, if I have stuffed up, like I said, hey Aldane, I can see you. Welcome, lovely to see you. Like I was saying, it was just been a little bit of a tricky aspect to see if I can actually make sure I've got all the tech at the back end. Somebody has messaged me, so hopefully it's not to say that I've stuffed up badly, but let's just see. Notifications get started. Okay, cool. Let's just see if that's working. Is anyone here? Is everyone okay at the moment? Like I said, there's a few of you here for Zoom. If for any reason there's a couple of newbies that come in, I might just try and change our wait room before we start, just so I know that I've got the right room. Okay, so participants, you've got a few of you here. Security, where's the security button here? Okay, admit. So hopefully we should have enable waiting room. We won't enable, we've disabled the waiting room. So hopefully that means whoever is, hey Reggie. Okay, right, it is on the hour. So hopefully we're ready to go. For those of you joining us on Zoom, hopefully I keep my connection. For those of you joining us, hopefully on Facebook Live, if it's still streaming live, because it says to me it is, whether it has or not, I can't check. But if it is streaming live, all good to go. And where are we? Say something about this video. Go. All good. All right, so that appears to be working. That appears to have the right things. If it hasn't for any reason, I'll pop it up a little bit later. For those of you with me on the Zoom, welcome. My name is Zoe Hewlett. I run Core Fusion Pilates and Physio. We're a little studio based over in Hillary. And like most of you, we've all been shut down this week. So we're normally seeing clients left, right and centre. We've normally got classes going, and there's normally a fair few people milling around and using our services, whether that be for physio or whether that be for our classes. And I spent the last couple of days just sending out a couple of emails to people with a few things on getting stretches done, what you can do for some release at home, and we've had a really good response with that. So today I decided to actually do it in person and see how you guys go with it. So if you have anything that you're not happy with, if you're new to us, then obviously feel free, just drop out if you need to. It's going to be about half an hour or so. So all you're going to need is a mat. So if you guys can hear me, just give me a thumbs up so I know you're all okay. And we're just going to need a stretchy band. So if you've got either and any of these, pick which works for you. If you've got a small pillow or a small towel and you want to use that behind your head, then feel free to use that as well. So if we can, we're just going to get started with a little bit of a laid down position. So if you want to lie yourself down on your back, hopefully you guys can see me okay. And we're just going to get hold of your strap or whatever it is you're going to use. And I want you to wrap that under your foot. So you're just going to take your right foot, place the strap underneath it. So you've got a towel, wrap it around your foot. And we're going to just use that to stretch that muscle up towards the ceiling. Okay? So from there, hold that position in space. Use your strap, whichever strap or your towel, and allow that leg to come down towards the floor. And then we're going to take that leg back up towards the ceiling. So use the towel or use your strap. Allow it to give you some support as you lower the foot to the floor and then take it up towards the ceiling. Okay? This leg, that is the support leg, I'm not too bothered. Whatever works for you. If you want to have it out straight, that's absolutely fine. It will help ground your pelvis. If you have a little bit of a sore back or even a bit tight, you might prefer to just keep it a little bit more bent. So the movement is going down towards the floor, coming up towards the ceiling. Take the leg down towards the floor, bring it up towards the ceiling. One more time, take it down as you breathe out, and then come up towards the ceiling. Now to get a little bit of an extra stretch on those hamstrings, we're going to take the knee in towards the chest and press the leg out. Take the knee in towards the chest and press the leg out. Take the knee into the chest and press the leg out. Now this leg here, you've got your right leg in the strap, you want your right hand. Just allow that leg to fall out to the side. So we're going to get a stretch through the inside of the thighs here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring it back up to center. And again, take an inhale, the leg is going to come out towards the side. Take it into a nice easy stretch. If your other leg is bent, you just take it to the opposite direction so you counterbalance. Try not to let your whole pelvis tilt, and come back into center. And then we're going to try and combine all those movements together. So you're going to take the leg down away from you, bring it up through center, take it out in a circle all the way around, and then take it up through center again. So we're going to inhale as the leg comes up towards you, exhale as the leg comes around, and we're just doing a nice big circle. So exhale, stretch those legs around. Take it up through center and stretch it around. Now changing directions, we're pushing down through center, out and around to the opposite side. So we're getting the leg moving. Now if it's easier for you, slide that other leg away so you can actually start going across the body. And again, it doesn't matter which hand you're using. You can use whichever hand is most comfortable for you, but we're just trying to get some stretch and some range of movement through those hips. Now, as we get older, these hips tend to get a little bit tight, so we're just getting that movement going. Okay, you're taking it out and across. Bring that leg across the body slightly, and hold. And we're going to get a little bit of a stretch along the outside. Now be careful here because it can be a little bit of a burn stretch. And we're just going to bend the leg in, stretch it back out. Bend the leg in, stretch it back out. One more time. And ease it out. Coming into a bent leg position, we're going to swap feet over. So swap the legs in, place the other leg down, bring the knee towards the chest, and exhale, bring that leg up towards the ceiling. Same as we did on the upper side. If you're happy in your leg style bent, keep it bent. If you'd rather stretch it out towards the floor, stretch that leg out. So I'm going to keep mine bent just so it supports me. I'm going to take a breath out, my leg's going to go away. I'm going to take an inhale and the leg's going to come in towards the ceiling. Because you know what's happening on this leg, if you would rather take the leg in and as you come in, you take the heel down, so you take the toe towards you and then press away. That will give you an increase through your hamstring stretch. So inhale, the leg comes in, we can flex the toe if you choose, or if you have your strap, you can take it into a bigger stretch if that works for you. Exhale, press away. So as we breathe in, the legs coming in. As we breathe out, legs going out. It's just going to help us support our tummy. Now this time we're going to take the leg in and we're going to hold. We're going to take the leg away. And we're going to breathe out to let that stretch. And I'm going to use that knee as a bit of a counterbalance. So the big thing up here is not to balance and stretch, or not to balance and tick. You take the knee in towards the floor. Out the leg goes as we breathe in and we feel a stretch to the inside of the leg. Again, if you want the arm out so you counterbalance, you can. Exhale, we take the leg back in. And then one more time, then take the leg out towards center. Breathe out and hold. I'm going to take that leg back in now and I'm going to start with my circle. So I'm going to come down through center. I'm coming out and around and back up and through. So down through center, out and around and back up and through. Now ignore my sheet that I've got here. It's just so you guys don't get a shock if my kids decide that they want to come running in. And most kids as they are, if yours are no different and around with no shirts, no nothing. And then we're swapping directions. So we're taking the legs down and we're coming up and around. Now if you want to stretch that leg away, so as you're doing the stretches, you can get that little bit more of a circle. So it doesn't matter which way you've started your circles. We're just going to make sure that as you press away and down, you're breathing out so you support your back. As you breathe in, the leg is coming in. Now, if you make sure as you come across now, so if you come from center, come across the body a little bit, you might want to swap hands so it's the opposite hand to your leg. We're just going to get that stretch on the outside of the leg again. Just bend the knee in, stretch it away. Bend the knee in, stretch it away. Just be careful because there's a little bit of a burn stretch on the hamstrings here, so just be careful about that. And one more time, bend the leg in, stretch that leg away. And we're going to come back through center. I want you to bend your knee just straight to the chest and stretch that leg up. You should be able to get a little bit further than when we started. Take the other leg in if it's comfortable for you. And we're just going to use the knees to chest. You can let the straps go and just bring those knees in towards your chest. To stretch those glutes, we're going to place your left leg on the floor, cross the right leg over it so it's done a figure 4 angle. You're going to reach through the back of the left thigh and come into a stretch. So again, knees get very, very tight. We're just going to get that stretch through the bottom on that side. Try if you can not to really lift your bottom off the floor because it makes you curl back rather than stretch the leg. I'm just going to keep my head lifted here so that I can see you guys as well. If you want a bigger stretch, you can push on that knee. Then we're going to swap legs over. So right leg goes down, The left leg goes over the top and we're making that figure 4 pattern. And we'll end up with a glute stretch on that left butt cheek. So you should feel it sort of on the outside, on the knee that's closest to you. Again, if you want to feel an increased stretch, we're just going to stretch and move that leg away. Breathing out, hands are going to go behind our head or behind our knees. I want you to flex the feet. From here, you're going to push through the back of the legs, and we're just going to take that up into a sit position. So coming up into your seated position, I'm going to move any head support out of the way for this one here. Take a nice big tall stretch so you're looking straight ahead. Use the body to support you behind, and we're just gently going to roll down to stretch out our lower back as we come knees to chest. Flex the feet. Push through the heels. As you push through the heels, start looking at your knees and you will gently rock yourself up to start. Come up to a nice tall start position. Hands are still behind your thighs. Breathe out, look down towards the top of your knees. Come as far back as you can that your back allows you to stretch. When you can't come any further, we're just going to let the body roll down. From here, I want you to stay in that nice long position. We're going to stretch your right leg away, and we're going to lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Gently ease yourself up to look at your knee. Allow that right leg to drop that little bit further. And at this point, we're just going to flex and point the toes. So inhale, exhale. Flex the toes towards you, stretch them away. Come knees in and just rest. Hands are going to go behind the right leg now. We're going to stretch the left leg away. And we're going to stretch the right leg up towards the ceiling. Hands can be wherever is comfortable for you. Head, neck and shoulders come up. If you're happy to head, neck and shoulders down, feel free to leave them down. And again, in this position here, we're just going to flex and point the toe. From here, take the knees in towards your chest. And we're going to take a little roll onto your side. Use your head support if it's there. And while you're lying on your side, you've got two hands reached out in front of you. You're going to take a breath in. Arm on the top is going to reach up and back, and you're going to reach round behind you. Careful that your knee doesn't give. You want your knees staying together. Breath in at the end. Use your ribs to come back and follow with the arm. If you prefer not to have a support, you can just have your head on here. Arm is out nice and tall. You're reaching as if you're drawing a big arc in a rainbow towards the back of the room. Let the body stretch through this whole area here. We'll reach that arm back. Your top leg now, and reach it away. And ease into that stretch. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, come back into center. One more time, we're going to take a nice inhale, arms come up and over. Breathe out into that stretch. Reach that knee away. You should feel it stretching all the way down that side. Take that knee back. Come back into center. From this position here, I want you to push yourself up so you're coming up into a seated position. And your legs are going to be in like a Z sit. So you're going to have one leg in front, one leg behind. If you're not happy in that position, we can always sit cross-legged. Your hand on this side is going to come up and over. So whichever way your knees are facing, you're working to the opposite side. So if your feet are facing left, we're working to the right, and we're going to stretch up and over, come back into center. Take a nice big inhale, up and over. Now this time, thread through that gap, so we get a stretch through that upper back. We take a nice big inhale, and then we come back into center. One last time. Inhale up and over. Exhale, we're coming through. Inhale up and over, and back to center. Now we're going to swap knee sides now. So swap your knees to the opposite side. And then we're going to do exactly the same. This is called a mermaid stretch. So we're coming up and over to the opposite side this time. And back and through. Take a nice inhale. Up and over. Exhale to come through. So if your feet are on the right, you're now moving to the left. Inhale up and over, relax the shoulder that's underneath you. As you exhale, reach the body round and through. As you inhale, come up center, and then restore it back to center place again. So we take an inhale up and over. Exhale. Reach around and through. Really feel that you're reaching and stretching through those ribs. Take an inhale, come up, and exhale, relax. Now one more time. We're going to come inhale, up and over. Exhale, round and through. Inhale, come up, and exhale, return. Now I want you to lie yourself down on this side now so we can do our book opening stretches on the opposite side. So you're now going to have the opposite arm to where you had before. We're drawing a nice big rainbow up and backwards as far as we can. Try not to let that knee go and we reach behind us. Now make sure your head turns to follow your arm. From here we take a breath in and we exhale to return. If you have a problem here, you can always do it in the short position where you just move your elbow. And then we'll reach and all the way back. And again, be careful that knee doesn't go on you. Breathe out just to get that bigger stretch. Take a breath into your belly. Come back from the rib. Follow with the arm. Now this time we're going to add that leg on stretch. So we're going to take an inhale, follow the hand with your eyes. When you can't go any further and you've reached your limit, extend that top leg away to get that stretch running along the whole length of your body. So we're reaching backwards. Take a breath in. Knee's going to come back in and arms going to follow you through. And then one more time, we take a breath and prepare. As you exhale, bring that arm up and over. Reach it back as far as you can. Reach as long away from you and extend that toe long away from you in the opposite direction. And just relax into that stretch. Bring that knee back in. And as you exhale, we're going to come back and through center. In that position there, I want you to just come up onto your hands and take that into a hands and knees position now. So you should be on your hands and knees. Now just be careful with your hands and knees that you're on the shin part of your knees, you're not on the front, okay? And you're going to rest your hands on the floor. Again, if your hands are sore, you're just going to take them up onto fists. And what I want you to do is take a scoop, tuck your tail underneath you, and look under through your arms. As you exhale, allow your pelvis and your belly button to drop, and your eye line is going to come to about 1 meter in front of you. Try not to collapse around your shoulders. Still have a little bit of energy through your shoulders. Scoop and tuck your tail underneath you, and we're just going to get that stretch through your upper spine. As you exhale, eye line is going to come up, head line is going to come up. One more time. Take a breath in, reach it all the way up and through and scoop. And then as you breathe, relax that out. Come all the way up and through. We're going to reach up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, reach that arm through and drop down onto your elbow. One last time, reach up. If you're happy and you just want to go through.
Keeps freezing.
Reach around and through, and if you're comfortable, you drop down onto that elbow. We take an inhale and we reach that arm up towards the ceiling. And as we breathe out, we come down and through, and we drop onto the elbow. One last time. Up towards the ceiling. And breathe out and down and through. Okay, from there, we're still in our quadruped position. I'm just going to move forward a tiny way. And what I want you to do is cross your right leg behind your left leg. You're going to ease yourself back to get a stretch through that glute. So if I shuffle forward a little bit so you guys can see, I'm going to reach and stretch. So I'm going to stretch the left glute. And I'm going to ease myself down into that stretch. Okay? If you are a little bit sore in the hip, you just go as far as you can. And I want you to be careful if your bottom's out or whether your bottom's tucked underneath you. So if you feel your bottom's out, do your stretch, come back up, go back into your stretch and try and do it with your tail tucked underneath you because it will be a little bit different. Okay? So ease into that stretch and then gently wriggle side to side. Again, this is a glute stretch. So the knee that's in front of you, it's the stretch on the glute on that hip side. It's very similar to your pigeon stretch that you might do if you do yoga. And it's one of the muscles at the back in the glute that we all get very tight with if we've been sat or inactive for a little while. So coming back up, we're going to swap that knee over. You're going to take your left leg now, cross it behind you, and we're going to ease back into that stretch. Again, if you can rest on your elbows, feel free to do. And you're going to feel it in that sort of glute area, hip area here. Again, if you've got your tail out, ease into that stretch. And just let it breathe. If you can on the next stretch, maybe tuck your tail under a little bit. And again, you can wriggle side to side just to get where you feel needs to stretch. From there, just come back into your kneel position. And we're going to sit back on our haunches. So take a breath out. And sit back on your haunches. Take an inhale, we come back to a quadruped position. Scoot through the tummy, so it's a supported stretch into your tummy. We're not just collapsing. I want you to try and support it so you really feel your shoulder blades separate. And then I want you to gently walk your hands around towards me. So if you started at 12 o'clock, you come around to 2 or 10 o'clock. Feel that stretch on the outer side. Keep the hips there, don't let the hips swing. And then we're going to come back around to center and this time walk around to the opposite side. As you're stretching, make sure the hip on that side is stretching in the opposite direction. It's not swinging around to meet you. Scoot through the tummy and you're coming back up through center. Wriggle slightly backwards on your mat. You're going to place your hands up. We're going to take a step forward with your left leg. So you should be in that sort of kneel position now. From here, just gently ease into a hip stretch. Now this front knee, you don't want it to go in front of your foot. So if you need to, just wriggle your toes forward and ease into that stretch. So it should be a stretch on the front of your hip. If you're more comfortable, stay low. If you're happy, tuck your toe behind you under the mat. So you see my toe on my mat is flat. Tuck your toe under the mat. Breathe out and see if you can come up into a stretch position. So it's like a mini lunge and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee back down. Good work. Just tuck your tail in a tiny bit more. And again, we're taking a breath out. We're going to stretch that back knee up. And we're going to hold it there for 5. Ease into that stretch. 3, 2, 1. And rest that knee down. Now from here, place your toe down and behind you. And we're going to ease back into a hamstring stretch on that side. So same with my leg here is just come back into a hamstring stretch. And then what I want you to do if you can is take a breath forward, come up into your lunge. Now from that position here, if you can, take it back to a hamstring stretch, straight legs. If you can't, as you come back, you just bend that knee and come into your lunge. Then hold. Now stay, if you're here, and you come to here, just drop your knee back down. You should be back in your lunge position again now. I want you to turn, keep that back leg down, and this straight leg is going to come up. And we're just going to take a lean up and over. Reach it a little bit more. Come back up through center. And we're going to swap legs. So we're going to take the right leg forward this time. The left leg is behind. And we're going to wriggle the toe forward to come into a hip stretch. Remember, if your knee is beyond your toe, just move your toe a little bit further forward. And then release it. Breathe out, come into your hip stretch. You'll be feeling it in the left hip at the back. Okay? Tuck your toe underneath you. And if you can, come up into a lift, into that lunge. Hold that stretch. Ease that knee down. One more time, toes underneath you. Come up into that stretch if you can. And hold that back knee high. If it doesn't work, just stay down on your knee, it doesn't matter. While you're doing that, I'm just going to turn myself around while you do your hamstring stretch. So if we're on that position here, take a lean back, toe goes underneath you, and you come into a hamstring stretch on that leg. Hold that hamstring stretch. Just turning me around so I haven't got my back to you when I stretch. Okay. From here, we take a knee bend forward, toe is underneath us. We're going to come up into our hamstring or our hip flexor stretch, which is the front of that hip. From here, if you can't extend that knee, drop the back knee to come into your hamstring stretch. If you can, just stretch it to where you're happy and hold. And we're going to drop that leg down. Those of you in the low stretch, stay. Those of you in the high stretch, come onto your knee. We're going to turn and keep that leg straight. And we're coming back over into our stretch. Coming back up through center. And sit. Those of you happy, legs out in front. Those of you not, they can have them bend knee. And we're just going to finish with a nice, easy twist. So we're taking the body to the side. We come back through center. We take the body to the side. And we come back through center. So if you're happy with your straight legs, stay. If you're happy and cross-legged, you can stay. If you're happy knees here, we can stay. Breath position is turn and come to center. Come to center. So center. 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 Two more. Center. Last one. Last one here. And rest. Take the hands behind the thighs. Gently stretch yourself backwards so you come into a curl stretch. And bring yourself up nice and tall. Cross the legs if you're happy to. We're going to take two hands, reach them up towards the ceiling. Breathe out. Circle them out and around. So two hands, clasp them together, reach them up towards the ceiling. And around. If you're happy to stand up, come into a stand position, and we're just going to finish with a couple of roll downs. So I know you've lost the top of me, but all we're doing is basically rolling the body down so we come into the stretch and scooping with the tummy to stack it all the way back up. So we start with the breath in to prepare. As you exhale, allow the body to curl, allow the arms to drop forward, keep the legs nice and soft. Take a breath in at the end, and as you scoop, stack it all the way back up. One more time, breath in to prepare. As you exhale, curl through the body, roll the body down towards the floor. Breathe out. As you inhale, try and expand through the back of the chest. Scoop through the tummy, stack the pelvis up in line first. And then we're coming back up to center. Now you can see my feet, so all I want you to do is walk in space. Hopefully you can see I'm shaking my hands as well. As you're walking in space, just try and get your body, get a little bit of circulation back in that body. Arms, shake it all the way up and all the way down. Just roll those shoulders. Little bit of movement through your shoulders, cycling them backwards, and a gentle head turn, left and right, ear to shoulder, and ear to shoulder. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. Hopefully I was pretty much bang on time with my half an hour. So I really hope you enjoyed at least a little bit of movement and getting a little bit going. It's lovely to see so many of you actually on Zoom at the moment. There's a few familiar faces, so hello to the familiar faces. Nice to see you. A few new faces, so nice to see your new faces. If you are keen and you quite liked it, I'm quite happy to do them. Hey Margot, quite happy to do them for the next couple of days. So like I said, we got such a good response from people with the info that I sent out for just some glute stretches and some hamstring stretches, and we did a little bit of a glutes like blast. So I figured today, hopefully we're only sort of doing this for 5 days, but you never know. I figured I'm happy to do it tomorrow and the great. No problems, Mel. We'll see what we can do. If you have any suggestions, so I was thinking if we did do it tomorrow, we might do a little bit of a cardio, just get a little bit of cardio going. And if we do it again on Friday, then maybe a little bit of a mix of the two, maybe a little bit of weights or a little bit of resistance. So if you guys are up for that, feel free to flick me an email. I will check on the back end that I've actually managed to work the Facebook side of it properly, but hopefully this is recorded. So thank you so much. I hope you're all doing well and lovely to see so many of you here. Thanks for joining me. Take care.